of a full body workout. Unlike other brain training activities like chess, playing an instrument recruits almost every part of the brain, including regions that process vision, sound, movement, and memory. The New York Times, the healing power of music, lauded by philosophers Aristotle and Pythagoras, is now being validated by medical research. It is used in targeting treatments for asthma, autism, depression, and more, including brain disorders such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, and stroke. Live music has made its way into some surprising venues, including oncology waiting rooms to calm patients as they wait for radiation and chemotherapy. It greets newborns and some neonatal intensive care units and comforts the dying in hospice. While musical therapies are rarely standalone treatments, they are increasingly used as adjuncts to other forms of medical treatment. They help people cope with their stress and mobilize their body's own capacity to heal. Finally, from Einstein, life without playing music is inconceivable for me. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. I get most joy in life out of music. The famous scientist never traveled without his beloved violin. Isn't that wonderful? Now, I'll start by saying that I encourage you all to attend our Power of Music, Sound and Music workshops when we do them, or join the choir, or get a harmonium and start playing that, or the drum or a gong or whatever. I can only cover so much in this amount of time, but at our centers, we talk a lot about music, we teach music, and we sing music, and we chant. And so music is an essential, it's not a side thing, it's an essential part of opening the heart. And when I grew up, from fourth grade, I was playing the violin, and then I played the cello. I played all the way through high school. And then I came to Ananda and I started playing the harmonium. And more, I just could feel music. It's not just something something that you do if you want to. It's a part of opening oneself to God. It's a part of the spiritual life. And so Master said, for example, chanting is half the battle. Now, chanting is half the battle of what? Well, it's half the battle of calming down your mind. It's half the battle of opening the heart. It's half the battle of having focus and concentration. It's half the battle of learning to love God. It's half the battle of being more bhakti, having more bhakti, being devotional. It's half the battle of getting on the path, you could really say. And Master, we know he chanted at Carnegie Hall with a huge group of people. For the whole auditorium was chanting with him for over an hour, maybe longer, an hour and a half. Oh God, beautiful. And Master said many people were healed on that evening from the vibrations of not just him singing, but they were singing, and he had a harmonium. And I don't know if it was that occasion, but on several occasions, he would bring out a harmonium, and these people with him, oh, don't bring that out, nobody. And he said, no, I'm going to play. People want to sing. And at every class that I ever went to of Swami Kriyanandaji's, he started with the harmonium. He would chant, we would chant along with him. Then a choir or a small group would come out and sing a song. Every class out of hundreds of classes. And when we would go around India at the beginning, I mean, I'm just speaking of India now, we would do our programs, always starting with the chant. If we could sing, we would sing, but for sure we had to chant. And I was just watching some video clips from some classes we had just last year. And there were chants, people didn't know the chants, but I just noticed, I was watching and everybody's singing because people feel there's a vibration that they want to enter into, and the chants provide that. And then also in our chanting workshops, Healing Power, Sound, and Music is not a lecture. Of course, we do speak about it, but then everyone learns to sing. In one way or another, they're singing. No one skips out of the room. They all learning how to sing. And the way Swamiji had us singing from the different chakras, the upper chakras. And then everyone learned, if they wanted, some instrument, either a little bit of a harmonium or a little bit of the kirtals or the drum or whatever, it's gong we would bring out, whatever people would like to learn, and people loved it. And then at the end, and of course we chanted and chanted, and then everyone sang together as a choir. They would learn at least some part of the song and then come together and we would sing. Now, why do we do all that? Because you can only talk so long and people can only hear so much. And our path is balanced, it's head and it's heart. And so you ask, why did Swamiji write so much music? Why did he compose so much music? We could have had a very dry path and just meditate and hope to do your best you can and serve. But Master chanted, and he had chants, and he wrote chants, and he sang, and by the way, that processional in Calcutta, walking down the streets there and chanting on Master's birthday was one of the highlights of my life, I would say. God bless Guru Priya and the Calcutta group. But this is what Master Swami Sri Tesraji did. They went down the streets chanting, and different people joined them. Some people were maybe not so happy, but anyway, that vibration just filled the streets of Calcutta. And you ask, now, why did Swamiji write 400 songs? He couldn't have written 2 songs, 5 songs, 10 songs, but he just kept writing song after song after song. And we kept singing. I would remember he would come out, this is a new song. You come on, let's sing this song. Or this is a new chant. You get the harmonium, now sing along with me. There was a thrill because he was bringing in that vibration of Dwapara music into the world, and all the stress and the strain and the tension and war and troubles and everything that was going on. He was a channel to bring in that vibration. So the music is a particular vibration. It's a lifeline, let's face it. And you think of all the music that there is, and just as Swamiji was saying, and you go shopping and there's a kind of a music hanging, and you go to, in the airplane, there's in the airport, there's different, but you go into Ananda and there's bliss. There's an uplifting vibration. Swamiji wrote that music to keep us in tune with that uplifting vibration of our gurus. And he said that music is attuned to the vibration of Om. And Master said he chanted his chants over and over and over until he had the experience of God. And that if we chant those chants, we too can tap into that experience. So why did Swamiji write the music? He didn't write it for himself. I'm a composer, I wrote music. He wrote it for us so that even when he's gone, we can still be uplifted and in tune and inspired and feel the presence of God and gurus. Now let's look more specifically at what does the music, what does it do? What does it heal? Well, first of all, it heals your mind. I mean, think of all the turmoil and people's minds and thoughts and confusion and lack of focus and concentration. Just think how much people's minds are just so unclear. When you listen to songs like Peace, it's one of Swamiji's most beautiful songs. And really, that's such a beautiful song. But any of the songs, you just feel your mind starts getting clear. Now, I would know because I've heard and sung and played, at least on the harmonium and now on the Esraj, Swamiji's songs for over 4 decades. It clears your mind of the debris. And then I was thinking all the blockages people have, obstacles to finding God. Oh, I have a doubt. Oh, I'm fearful. Oh, I'm worried or critical or, negative or whatever it is. the music gets in there and just it's like purification. It just cleanses your mind. And then you have less obstacles to try to deal with. And I see people just, I mean, imagine coming home and just sitting to meditate after, especially in Delhi, where I live, the traffic is horrendous, and you're in the car and this, and you go home. Now I'm going to meditate. Well, you're not going to meditate. You have to cleanse yourself from that vibration. And 1.4 billion people in India, you have to be able to get back in attunement with God and gurus. And so the first thing it does is cleanses your mind, and then it cleanses your heart. Wow. The emotions that people have of anger, and I'm upset with this person. Why did he do this? And it's just not worth it. But you just get out of control with your emotions and negativity and fearfulness and whatever, everything. And that's not a devotee, a way of being a devotee or disciple. So it starts calming. You just put it on in your car, and I get in people's cars, they're playing something else. I said, why are you playing that? And I see people listening to something else. Well, I mean, you want to come back and go again, many incarnations because of the music you're listening to? I mean, honestly, so it calms emotions down, and then you feel your heart just so free, so happy. That happy feeling in the heart. I mean, even I've understood, even if the music of great composers is beautiful, and it is beautiful, it just isn't the same vibration. There's a particular vibration that Master brought through Swamiji to us to say, hang on to this, and it will bring you all the way through, just like meditation and seva, music. And so it calms emotions. And kind of a humorous thing, even like when I go to the dentist, I go to Dr. Kriti. I highly recommend her. She's in Gurgaon. She's a Kriyaban. But sometimes, it's not that comfortable going to the dentist. And so you go in there, and Dr. Kriti, she's fantastic. But what I love the most, I love her, but I also love that she's playing Swamiji's music. You walk in there and you just start relaxing, no matter how much drilling she has to do on you. You have that music going in the background. So it just calms you right down. And so the mind and the emotions, and then the physical body. Imagine, just think of the stress that you go through every day, the tensions from the job, from the kids, from the barking dogs, the stray dogs, the monkeys jumping on you. I mean, I carry a stick with me when I walk because I've had monkeys jumping around. But you have to just think of that tension and the stress that we live up under. It's not normal. You might think it's normal. It's not. It's not normal. So how are you going to deal with that stress? The music. You put that music on in your house, in the headphones, in your car, in your job or whatever, and you just feel like freedom from that stress. Freedom from that stress. And so the music is really helping us. And finally, it helps us spiritually. Wow, how are you going to find God without that music? How are you going to find God without chanting when Master said it's half the battle? Already half, if you just chant. Chant with the music, even if you can't play the harmonium, get a tanpura or whatever, but chant, chant, and chant. You find it just opens that door of my heart. Boom, it's open. But you have to be able to do it. It's not, I'm sitting on the couch and I hope somebody else chants. It's like you have to offer yourself. And I remember, time is up, but I remember a wonderful time when Swamiji, he was chanting and he said, now this is how I chant in public. And then he said, this is how I chant on my own. And wow, he just started weeping during the chanting. And I thought, no, he's really chanting. This is chanting when you really open your heart. So I want to go into now, to close, just a couple of final wonderful quotes. This is from Master. I wish I had more time on this, but I would suggest you come to the workshops. They're fantastic. Master says sound is the most powerful force in the universe, and music is a divine art to be used as a path to God realization. And Swamiji says music consists essentially of sound vibrations condensed from the music of creation. Without music, life itself would cease to be. Then finally, this is a story of a girl who was healed. Now, you probably heard of Mr. Suzuki in China, who started the Suzuki method of violin training with children. So this was a 6-year-old girl, this I'll end with this, who had polio. I just read this in his book, which is a fabulous book, by the way, The Suzuki Method. The right side of her body was severely affected. Her right eye was unable to focus. When she played the song he was teaching, her teacher was teaching, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, her right hand moved abruptly of its own accord and her bow would fly out of her hand. Her teacher was at a loss as to how to surmount this challenge and consulted Mr. Suzuki. He said, my answer at that time was, let's continue with this student until both teacher and parent give up. Finally, however, the movements of the child's right hand gradually changed until in the end, the girl's bow stopped falling from her hand. A half year later, this child was able to play the song on her right arm as her right arm grew stronger, along with the capacity to maneuver her bow. However, the daughter's achievement did not end solely with learning the one piece. Thankfully, as she continued practicing the violin, her right eye gradually learned to focus properly. And at the same time, the entire right side of her body, until then debilitated, began to move like everyone else's. That girl thus overcame her handicap. Unexpectedly, she was restored to complete physical health. The music helped her to transcend her bodily limitations. Wow. I hope you will get some instrument or some of Swamiji's music or the Ananda Music app or get in a choir, chant, and really understand what Master meant by chanting is half the battle. God bless you. And I'll ask Natendra now to join me on the screen.
Thank you, Guruji. We have a few questions, but we also have a song if you want us to sing together.
Yes, let's do the song after the questions.
Okay, sure, Dhyanaji. So we have a few questions. The first one, Dhyanaji, is would Ananda music help me to deepen my meditation and make me more receptive to God's presence?
I can vouch for it. Definitely. Without it, you've got a long, dry path. Remember, Master said that to Swamiji, that you have to get devotion. Swamiji bought a harmonium, he started chanting. So without it, I don't know how people make it. And Master said it so strongly and he did it. Why would we not do it? It's a part of our path, no?
Thank you,
Then,
Dhyanaji. The next question is, was Swamiji formally trained in music?
yes, he was. But he had the basics. But then from there, I think he was just infused by God and gurus. I mean, he kept saying, these songs are coming to me. He said, they're not mine, that they've come from Divine Mother, Master. So he was a channel. These songs aren't personal. They're not egoic. They're not about him. You know, they're very deep. Some of them are lighter, Big Frog, Little Frog, different ones, the children's songs. But for the most part, as Swamiji said, to know who I am, to get to know who I am, listen to my music. So there's secrets in those songs. You can't get it from singing it once. You just have to listen to them and sing them, and you find, wow, what he put in these songs is extraordinary. Extraordinary for upliftment, for inspiration, for purification, for healing, and finally for knowing God.
One last question, Dhanaji. Is there any special power in Masters and Swamiji's chants as compared to the other traditional chants that we hear?
I would say try it and see. I mean, I've heard a lot of music, but there's nothing that compares to this as far as I've ever seen. Now, maybe I'm biased, but I grew up with music, so I know music, and all the famous musicians and singers, we grew up with them. I mean, even they had good voices and they had good bands, and that, it was okay, but it was just like kindergarten. I mean, honestly, it was lower chakra music. Who wants that if you're on the path? So if this came from a divine realm and from the masters, certainly it's going to heal you and uplift you. And more than anything, if masters said this is the path to self-realization, a half of it, for God's sake, get a chant and chant it. I mean, just chant the same one if you can't, even if you can't sing. And I've heard a lot of people in India say, I don't have a voice, I can't sing. Well, so what? Sing anyway. Sing out because it opens you up. Sing in the shower, sing in the closed door, close the door and sing in your room. But sing because I remember Swamiji looked at me, I came to Ananda, he said, can you sing? And I said, I don't think so. Now, that would have been ridiculous. I've gone all these years without singing. But he basically was saying, so what? Sing anyway. And as you sing, your voice gets better. I hear people's voices. That's not a devotee's voice. Your voice gets sweeter as you sing. So if you want to improve your voice, how your eyes, your face, your vibration, your spine, your energy level, your magnetism, your joy level, your peace, sing out with joy. It's a really important part of the path, and you start on that, and it's joy, joy, ever new joy. So shall we sing that song?
Sure, Dhanaji.
Please sing along.
Service Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won.
Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high. Sing and the battle is won. Sing in the meadows and everywhere. Sing out a blessing to everyone. Lift up your voices, lift your hands on high, sing and the battle is won. Sing and the battle is won. Sing and the battle is won.
God bless you all. Thank you, Nitendra.